They had 62 yards of total offense in the first half yesterday. Got a little bit better in the second half, but altogether, Stoke, it was bad. It was real bad, and it begs the question. Sean Payton and the offense that he runs. This is somebody who, during his time with New Orleans, had an offense that was one of the envy of the whole league. He established himself as a bright offensive mind, maybe one of the best in the business. So what's going on now, and what's wrong with his play calling? What's wrong with his offense? Is it an outdated, archaic, out-of-touch offense?
I don't think so. I think the main issue here is you got a young quarterback. You're trying to do too much as an offense. There were some things yesterday, philosophy-wise, that I didn't like. When you go empty against the Pittsburgh Steelers and that pass rush, and the things that they can do, the different looks that they can give you when they play that 3-4 defense, and you don't know who's coming, who's dropping out, what they're doing. I don't think that's a good game plan to go into with a rookie quarterback. And I saw too much empty formations. I think that's putting a lot on Bo, and it's putting a lot of pressure on that O-line.
And stop right there. So, okay, then why? Try to explain to all of us the rationale for why he would do it, because I have that in my notes as well. That seemed kind of odd to me. So
I don't know. I mean, I wish I could give you that answer. I mean, I could say maybe he thought it would help his young quarterback out for whatever reason, give him some easy throws, and but I wouldn't think that would be a good idea for me, from my perspective, looking at it, what Pittsburgh does, and especially when you're trying to get your offense up to speed. Now, maybe if you got Drew Brees, okay, Peyton Manning, and they're going to dissect it and pick you apart, maybe you can do it then, but they just do so many things to give you issues, Pittsburgh's defense, that when you go empty like that, I don't think that helps you. I think that's going to be a negative, and I don't think it really helped them yesterday. So I didn't like the plan. I didn't like the philosophy there going into it. And like I said, I just think they're doing way too much. I mean, just you look at the snap counts. I mean, Lil Jard Humphrey had 47. Is he our starter? Is he a starter?
He and Josh Reynolds seem to be their best receivers right now.
Josh Reynolds had 41. Cortland had 54. I mean, that was a snap between. Is that our top? If that's our top three guys, great. But we can't be cutting Lil Jordan today and putting him on the practice squad and then bringing him up and acting like he's a starter. I mean, that's not how you treat a starter. So I'm very confused there. Like, why are we playing Troy Franklin in the second game, Mike? We watched him in training camp. He's just not ready. He's not ready. I don't need to see him on the football field. He played 12 snaps. Why? Marvin Mims, 9. It's just like you have a lot of guys out there that aren't ready for the moment, that, quite frankly, aren't good enough.
So one of the arguments I've heard against the Sean offense that leads to the idea that maybe it's just outdated is that you look at a lot of offenses now, there's a lot of motion. There's a lot of people in motion before the ball is snapped, and that the Payton offense is rather static, right? They line up, and that's where they start from, and that's where they go. Is there anything to that?
I don't think so. Not for me. No. And I did
not
see
enough
some,
eye candy
right,
is the argument.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of it seems like the cool thing to do now. But a lot of the teams that have successful offenses do it. But I still think, like, if you don't have the talent to go out there and do it, I don't care how you try to, fool the opposing defense. Usually when you do try to do too much like that, it's just going to end up backfiring, right? And so I want to simplify this thing. And I do see motion. I'll see Jaleel McLaughlin outside, and next thing you know, he's going around the quarterback. And then we're trying to throw a quick screen to Greg Dulcich, and it's like nothing, right? You know what I'm saying? They tried to do something on that one play with motion and to set things up, and you just can't go out there and, like, Bolsey doesn't get out there quick enough. We don't block it up, and so it ends up being a negative. My thing is, like, if you want to ask me, what would you do to try to fix this? And again, I'm trying to simplify it as much as possible. And you know what I'm giving Bo? I'm giving Bo my 20 staples. What are they? My foundational plays, right? And guess what? You're gonna run it against cover 2. You're going to run it against cover 3. You're going to run it against man-to-man. You're going to run it against quarters. All these different defenses. You're going to have these plays where you go out there, we're going to call it, we're going to run it, and you're going to know exactly what to do, and we're going to run these plays over and over and over again.
Well, Bo was asked yesterday about the idea of simplifying the offense.
I think it's hard to be simple in the league because the other defense is game planning and scheming you up too. So if you're too simple, then they'll just pick you apart. So there's just a fine line. I think, I felt good in the plan going in. I think we just got to execute the plays better.
So he's saying if you simplify things too much, you're just going to get carved up by these complex defenses.
I don't believe that at all. Go out there and out-execute them, right? I mean, I'm a believer of execution, and I don't care. Like all these offenses, Mike, you watch these offenses, right? Kyle Shanahan, great offense, creative.
Not yesterday, but
no,
yeah.
Well, no, exactly. But then all of a sudden, whenever you look up and they don't have Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel and Ayuk, and they're playing their backup quarterback, all of a sudden all that stuff doesn't work. So you got to go out there and execute it with high-level players. I don't think the Broncos have a lot of talent offensively. I mean, breaking news, right? Shocker. We've been talking about that. I mean, who's their tight end? Who?
I think he's a bum.
Who's their slot receiver? We just roll guys out there. And next thing you know, I look up and I'm seeing Atkins, running a corner route and, jumping like 2 inches off there. I think you could jump higher than our guy Atkins out there, that corner route.
Easily.
And, the ball just going off his fingertips. Dolchich can't catch anything. Yeah. I mean, what the hell is going on? So
might like that top 10 tight end Mulligan back there.
Yeah, right. I'm with you. I need that mulligan. I need that breakfast ball. Jeez. I mean, so I think you look up at the talent, Mike, and it's just like there's not a lot of talent. But I want to simplify it. I want to make it as easy as possible for Bo to go out there and recognize things and be able to react a little bit quicker.
I still, though, thought that Sean would be able to design guys open. And that's my frustration, or unless you are here to tell us all that it doesn't work that way. Because to me, I'm just like, you can't scheme, you can't devise, you can't draw something up that just is like, wow, how'd that guy get that wide open? It only happened a couple times yesterday where there was a guy wide open.
Yeah.
It seemed like everybody's covered. So why can't he scheme people to get open?
And that's why I do. I mean, I've been like probably the biggest advocate for this offensive coaching staff. I think they do a good job of that. You look up and it was the first play against the Colts and just in the preseason. You look up, it's like, oh, that was a great design of a play. You schemed Cortland Sutton open on that play. Nice play for Bo Nix to come into the game. And so that's what's been disappointing also. We just really haven't seen those plays. The Marvin Mims touchdown in the preseason game, that was a nice schemed-up play in the red zone for a touchdown. Easy throw, schemed it up nicely. We haven't seen it, Mike. I don't know. And there's been a couple opportunities there. The Marvin Mims one yesterday. Right, the deep shot.
He was open.
Bo's got to make a better throw. So there's been a couple of them, but not as many as I would like, certainly. And you know what else is a big issue? When your offense stinks, like the Broncos' offense stinks, you don't get as many opportunities to dial those things up, right? Like 61 plays, and a lot of those plays are, when you're down 13 with 5 minutes left and they're playing prevent.